This is the Saturday Morning Update on 630 WMAL.
Saturday Morning Update, 630 WMAL. I'm Rick Fowler. Dena Roudybush is with Compliance Counsel, and she pops in from time to time on the Saturday Morning Update to bring us up to date on what's going on in the mortgage front and foreclosures and loan modifications. And something we've been following pretty closely recently is some legislation that is in front of the Virginia House of Delegates. It's the Home Ownership and Title Protection Act. Dena's been part of the testimony. Delegate Bob Marshall has introduced the bill. Delegate Bob Marshall joins us as well on the Saturday Morning Update. Good morning to you both.
Thank you very much.
Dena, if you could concisely address the issue that is confronting homeowners, people may not even know that they're having this problem or have had this problem, and it involves the titles and the registration of their land documents.
Virginia is a non-judicial foreclosure state, so for a trustee to proceed with the foreclosure of your home, there's no judicial oversight unless the homeowner is challenging the bank. Most homeowners would not have any idea or any clue that their documents have been forged, robo-signing, or that they're in fact missing. It's pretty common knowledge now that trustees across the country, law firms and banks across the country, have been cutting corners, even perpetrating fraud to effectuate foreclosures quickly. So what the homeowner would not know in Virginia, unless it's the homeowner is challenging the action, they would not know.
Delegate Marshall, what are you doing in the legislation to try and address the problem?
Well, as a result of constituents contacting me, I've drawn up House Bill 1506, which I believe is the first serious legislative challenge at the state level to a private record system of land recordation that Wall Street has devised as a complete substitute for, in some cases, an almost 400-year-old land recording system where they're privately recording who's buying what and not telling the public. The problem here is that the banks, and courts have cited this in 7 states and most recently in Massachusetts, are not having complete records filed. They're not even following their own pooling and servicing agreements. And in order to save in Virginia a measly $21 each time the loan is sold to another bank, they're willing to jeopardize everyone's ownership. This is not simply a circumstance where it's people who are intentionally trying to game the system. At risk here in the long run is everybody who's paying their mortgage on time because the banks are losing track of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have an example of one situation where 4 different lending institutions seemed to feel that they had an involvement or an ownership in a property and they were confused?
I have one of those cases. The clients came to me after the foreclosure sale. 4 banks, 3 in 1 month. The month prior to the foreclosure claimed to be the secured party with the right to foreclose. And this is coming from the law firm representing the banks as trustee. And this was a MERS recorded loan. MERS's website lists an entirely different bank as the owner of the loan. So we have 4 banks.
Different banks. Now,
4 banks.
Something as important as a home that's probably valued well over $200,000, could be $600,000-$700,000, and 4 banks think they own it?
That's the entire point of House Bill 1506. Only the right bank has the right to foreclose. The bill doesn't purport to stop foreclosures or want to stop foreclosures. The only requirement is that the bank with the right to foreclose is the one that's foreclosing.
Let me tell you, I talked to Terry McAuliffe, the fellow who ran for Democratic governor in 2009. He was a former banker, I believe. He talked to me at a meeting. He gave a presentation to, I think, the American Bankers Association. He was told there are 5 million more foreclosures coming down the road in short order. But again, this is, in the next 2 years, this is not simply people who cannot pay the bills. At jeopardy here, at risk, according to valid authoritative research, is probably half of the mortgages in this country are not kept in proper order with the assignments from one bank to another, so that you're losing track of a record and you don't have clear title. This will jeopardize everybody's ability to prove that they own a home, that they can validly sell it, or give it to their children.
That's correct. And I appeared on Monday with Delegate Marshall to present testimony, and one of his witnesses was a homeowner who was current on their mortgage but foreclosed on by a bank that did not have a secured interest in the property. How does that happen? a number of reasons. The sloppy paperwork by the MERS in this case, and there's no judicial oversight. And we're not advocating for Virginia to be a judicial foreclosure state. Just the proper party is the only one that's entitled to foreclose.
Well, this is a showdown that's coming on Monday, January 24th. So, folks, Katie bar the door, because this is a challenge to Wall Street, and I hope that the Virginia General Assembly stands up to them instead of like Congress, who got rolled and gave them all this TARP money, which, in fact, the fact that they did get the TARP money, one of the state senators pointed out, requires them to offer renegotiation of loans, but they're not doing it.
Our audience is very involved and very savvy when it comes to political issues. What could somebody do listening this morning that would help both of you to pursue your efforts to clean up this process that's obviously costing Virginia citizens their homes at some times?
Contact your state delegate, because the biggest bill, the biggest fight is now in the Virginia House of Delegates in the courts Civil Law Subcommittee. It's chaired by Delegate Albo of Springfield. The full committee, the subcommittee, is chaired by Delegate Clay Athey of Front Royal. His district goes down to the Gainesville, Prince William line. To contact these folks and say, please pass House Bill 1506.
Delegate Marshall, do you have the phone number for a listener who wants to contact?
Delegate Albo's phone number in Richmond is 804-698-1042. Delegate Athey's phone number is 804-698-1018.
In support of House Bill 1506, the Home Ownership and Title Protection Act, you can start leaving your voicemails now at 804-698-1042. Delegate Marshall, great to have you with us once again on 630 WMAL.
Thank you for alerting the public to this very important problem.
Dena Roudybush, of course, with Compliance Counsel, and she is the host of the Mortgage Crisis Update every Saturday morning at 5:30, and we encourage you to listen to that show just ahead of the Saturday morning update, because each week she will keep you up to speed in the pursuit of justice here for Virginia citizens, and this will have national implications, too, as well, I would imagine.
Oh,
yes, it's the first bill of its kind in the country.
This can start a domino effect to bring the big banks to account, and Virginia should lead the way on this. We've done it in other areas. We need to do it here.
Absolutely.
And Dena's number is 703-261-7097 at Compliance Counsel. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
742 Saturday Morning Update, 630 WMAL.